Good morning, all of you. This is me, Adnan Gauri, the founder and director of iWorkstation. I welcome you all to the iWorkstation BIM series, week 9 by Dashnor Kadiri. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce Dashnor to you. He's a teaching assistant at Faculty of Architecture, Pristina, Kosovo. It's a college in Europe. He's also a BIM senior manager, having 10 years of experience. At present, he is now pursuing his PhD in application of smart cities. So previously, we had a session with different BIM experts, and we had a session from one of our students as well. So it's an honor we have a teaching faculty here with us today. That is Dashnor. So I would like to welcome Dashnor. Yeah, Dashnor, we can go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and thank you for your interest about BIM and smart cities. I will shortly introduce you with BIM and smart cities and what are they doing right now. So I will share my screen right now and we can start. So as Adnan introduced me, I'm Dashnor Kadiri from Kosovo, and also we will talk a lot more of BIM and smart cities. Okay, what is BIM? Just a second. Okay, BIM is not just a technology, it is a set of processes supported by technology that ensure efficient asset allocation. This may be crucial to creating a smart city. So we are again talking about BIM and smart cities. I will tell you some of my views how BIM could lie in the heart of smart cities, and one of them could be data information that are linked to the 3D objects within the model and managed during the asset life cycle from concept to demolition. So this picture here is telling a lot about data information, and another picture is telling us about life cycle. It's from the concept here and until the demolition. Okay. So here is another image that told us more about what BIM is doing right now to design, to build, and to operate, relating to the images on the previous slide. Okay. Again, on my view about BIM and the smart cities, greater collaboration. By implementing BIM, all the project stakeholders can be ensured that no information is lost during any exchange. The architects and the engineers have access to informal design options. The construction team can reduce waste and ensure timely project completion. So these are some of my views. Here we can see some of my students' work that they are doing BIM at my school here in Pristina. Some of their drawings, details, and exploded views that are telling more about building information modeling. So everything what they modeled here, they have all information of that, and they can share in one central model from local partners and everything else. Okay. Another view is easier integration, easier project visualization, 3D modeling. By employing BIM, invested teams enable a free flow of standardized information between systems and open up collaboration channels that facilitate these integrations easily. Okay, here is another view of another project. It's a project from Ms. van der Rohe. Villa Tugendlat, it's in Czech Republic, and also it's done by BIM Autodesk Revit. Again, from my students at my school. Okay, so BIM is transforming not only the way buildings are designed and constructed, but also how they are managed and developed in the light of changing customer needs. In so doing, BIM is changing relationship and business models across the whole value chain. By unlocking technology, infrastructure, and public data, cities can be open up new value chains, innovative applications and information products that make sustainable modes of city living and working possible. the data delivered through BIM at the building level will be an important enabler of these new value chains. So we are talking again about BIM and information, what one model is offering us to go forward. Okay, why BIM is ISC change gamer? Because of coordination approach, virtual simulation, prefabrication, virtual model, no data loss, collaborative design, no change orders, better data quality. So these are all the factors that can contribute to BIM and to one building information modeling. Here at this slide we can see some of BIM softwares that people use around the world, like Revit, Navisworks, SketchUp, Flux, AutoCAD, 3ds Max, as they are seen at this slide. So with this kind of software, people that use them can get a lot of information and can be easy for everything else to go forward. Okay, so at this slide we are talking about BIM in the world. The United Kingdom is the one of best example to introduce with BIM. Implementation of BIM at level 2 for all government projects. The different levels of BIM will be the subject of an upcoming blog article. Since then, we have seen a 20% reduction in capital cost using BIM level 2 in the UK. In Europe, for example, France, Spain and Germany have implemented the adoption of BIM standards. Like the United Kingdom, New Zealand has also mandated BIM for majority infrastructure projects. The adoption of BIM is also gaining momentum in India, thanks to the government project of 100 smart cities. However, the Nordic countries like Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland are pioneers in this field because they adopt the BIM in 2005. So we are talking about the implementation of BIM, and United Kingdom are the best example of implementing it. Also here we have one report from Richard Waterhouse, is CEO of NBC. We have been monitoring BIM adoption in the UK for almost a decade, and during this period the overall trends of BIM awareness and adoption have grown from little more than 10% in 2011 to around 70% in 2019. So this is a good example to follow the UK from UK report about BIM. Okay, at this slide I present the
so they have released
BIM
the
market.
UK BIM level 2 report as well, Dashnor.
Sorry?
The NBS report that you just showed, like 2019, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have released this report, and like if you can share this report with us, it would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, we are talking here about BIM markets and which countries are implementing BIM, which are not, and which are planning to implement in the future. So related to this legend, they are all told at this map, and you can see, for example, Switzerland, no BIM requirement, Brazil, no BIM requirement, Czech Republic, New Zealand, and all the countries.
Where is India?
For example, sorry?
Where is India in this map?
India?
Yeah.
I didn't find it. I think it's not here.
Okay.
Okay. So BIM programs planned. For example, Portugal, Spain, Germany, Japan, China, Canada, and other places. Future mandate fixed. Also there are here like Scotland, France, Mexico, Peru, Italy, Qatar. And open BIM standards and mandate or Norway. Like Nordic places are the best one, and also Austria. 2015 BIM standards based on IFC. Okay, what are the BIM opportunities? BIM can be used by all IC actors like architects, designers, engineers, construction companies. This is a huge market. Not all of them have in-house capabilities and know how. BIM needs some IT skills that most of ISC actors don't have because of their education. So our schools, for example, architecture schools, they do not provide us, for example, IT skills. So we have to learn them alone, or maybe from some courses or whatever else. FIAM and construction companies need BIM modelers to deliver organized BIM data. Like governments, public companies are using BIM for cost savings on FIAM, but they don't have technicians to develop BIM models. Manufacturers must create BIM components for design and general contractors to stay on the market. So these are some of the BIM opportunities at this moment and the future one. Okay, market leaders. So I put some of the sites that you in the future can check and see how or who is leading in the BIM market. Okay, smart city. What is the role of the BIM? Building information modeling and the smart city have a common point of being functional expressions. Nevertheless, behind these are hidden real issues for the future of the city and its population. The subject raises question about BIM contribution to the smart city. So we are talking what's the BIM contribution to the smart city. Okay, this is one of the picture that explains a lot of things that BIM can do in the one smart city. Like for example, solar panels, smart houses, multi-energy station, a lot of fun. Okay. Smart city, we are talking here about general information. Smart city, first definition. Like intelligent, we can call it intelligent city, efficient city that uses natural resources due to global warming and the risk of scarcity has become a priority. For example, the smart city is a city that uses energy resources efficiently through new technologies, including information. For example, if we talk about smart city, we cannot find any exactly definition what is smart city right now, because every city or every country they talk about the cities and they how to say they make conclusions according to their city growing. But for example, in the past, the smart cities they were addicted to a lot of technology. Also, they are today, but they put today smart cities. They put human factor on the center, and then from the human factor we can start all the innovations and everything else about one city. Okay, the life of smart cities. Smart cities can be classified into three categories: smart living, improving the quality of life of citizens; smart safety, health with prevention, risk minimization; smart sustainability, reducing environmental impacts. So these are three main categories of smart cities that are doing right now to all the world. The importance of BIM for creating a smart city. BIM makes a city smart. BIM is not just a product, it's a process supported by a technology that will give more efficient assets and is essential for the creation of a smart city. The breakdowns can be by trade, by zone, by phase of the project. Example, the first team deals with the planning, the second design, the third of the construction, than a maintenance team. In such scenarios, the importance of BIM increases as it facilitates information management and collaboration between teams associated with a construction project. Thank you. So, according to this presentation, I would like to hear from you any questions or what you are interested in the future of BIM and the smart cities.
Exactly. Thank you, Dashnor, for the nice presentation. Can you just go back to the BIM opportunities section? Yeah,
Here.
this one.
Yeah.
The BIM opportunities. I would like to discuss with you like the third point here. The BIM needs some IT skills, information technology skills that most of the AEC sectors don't have because of their education, right?
Their education. Yes. For example, a lot of schools around the world, they offer more subjects about how to be an architect, but not how to learn one software or a BIM softwares.
Right.
That's the point that I'm trying to do something different. For example, to my school in Pristina, that I put it Revit as the main subject, and then I think it's better. But also students must have IT skills for the future markets.
Right. Yeah, one of us participant also has a question from you. Like Kunal, yes, you can ask.
Yeah.
Hello, Dashnor.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. We are talking about BIM for smart city development. All right.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. How can we sustain cities and we could also develop them smartly
Yeah.
by using BIM?
Yeah. Of course.
So this means I want to ask that means by using BIM can we sustain our city and simultaneously we can develop them smartly, because when we talk about development of city we only focused on the smart things or the development, but we can't means we don't think about their sustainability and it loses by the period of time. So
Yeah.
can we overcome this in BIM?
For example, I will go back to this slide, and this slide explains a lot of the things. For example, BIM is transforming not only the way buildings are designed and constructed, but also how they are managed and developed in the light of changing customer needs. So this is one point that explains your question, I think. And the last one, the data delivered through BIM at the building level will be an important enabler of this new value chain.
So are we having any example regarding to this, means sustainability and development of city?
I think this example, it's why BIM is, I see, game changer. We have a lot of things here that can explain your question. It's, for example, better data quality, life cycle building management, collaborative design, and everything else what BIM offers, and what is the future of smart cities through BIM.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Yeah. Any other participants have a question from Dashnor? You can raise your hand. I'll just unmute you. I have one question from you, Dashnor. Like on the 11th slide, can you just show the 11th slide? Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
The 11th slide.
Here.
No, the next one.
It's here. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the 11th one, BIM software. So we have lot many software tools for the BIM. Like, so how we define which tool is need to be required for which kind of deliverable we want to achieve in the project? How do we define this, or how do we plan out, or how do we strategize this thing?
which is the best, for example, also, or which suites are us a lot. For example, it's better to see the markets. For example, which software is more useful at, and which is very good at BIM, building information modeling. If you see, for example, in our daily presentations, you can see that Revit is 83%
Right.
of usage. Yeah, and it's at this moment I think is the best one for BIM platform.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So you would suggest like going with the Revit that will help you achieve the maximum deliverables we have in the BIM project, right?
Yeah, Revit it's nice because it's Autodesk family, and if you work with Autodesk softwares, and it's easier because they have a very good collaboration with each others.
Right, right. Absolutely. And have you also tried your hands with the flux.io? That's not.
Sorry, which one?
Have you also tried your hands with the flux.io?
That I on.
Yeah, this one.
No, I didn't. I didn't try it.
Yeah, okay. So like there's so many applications, like some people used to get confused, like they have to choose the Revit or they have to choose the AutoCAD or the EcoSem. Then it's about the expertise as well, and which companies are requiring which kind of tool for what kind of projects. So that was the
Yes.
actual question of mine.
It relates a lot, also a lot of the philosophy of the country. For example, in the USA, they use a lot of Revit, Scandinavian places, but some places use, for example, AutoCAD and or for example, Vectorworks is it's used also in the Switzerland or other places. But Revit, it's all the world. I think in India also it's Revit.
Yeah, in
used.
India also most of the tools are being used as Revit. Revit and AutoCAD has been used widely.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, Dashnor. So we'll connect back again for the question answers with a short 1 minute of break, right? Question from Kunal Chaudhary. Yes, Kunal.
Hello.
Hello.
Dashno, can you tell us about the how to learn about BIM and how to get employment?
Yeah. For example, to get employment, you have to have a good experience in BIM. Whatever programs, it doesn't matter. For example, Revit, AutoCAD, or AutoCAD 3ds Max. I don't know. But to get employment in BIM, you can for example, you can use for example freelancer, become Upwork, and you can use also LinkedIn and introduce yourself to the world. And for example, LinkedIn, what did the latest update is, for example, if you write that you know Revit or AutoCAD, you have to do a little bit of test and to prove that you know exactly that one. And if, for example, if anybody tries to find you as a BIM modeler or whatever else, he can see that this guy knows how to model with Revit or AutoCAD or 3ds Max. So latest update of LinkedIn, I like it a lot because it helps a lot of companies to find right people for BIM or whatever else. Also, you can use a lot of other sites that are for freelancers, for example, and you can put your portfolio there, and people will call you for whatever they need.
Okay, and in BIM domain, in which deliverables should be focused more so that our employment rate gets increased?
For example, yeah. For example, at this moment, BIM is very nice software with Revit, BIM Revit, I think, and it's nice because a lot of people around the world they are trying to find people that works with Revit because it's more professional like a program, and it offers a lot of data information that's very nice for BIM, for example.
Okay, and means do you have any example where BIM has fully implemented in developing city smart?
For example, as I said in the past of this presentation, it's UK. It's the best example that implements BIM. And for example, from 2016, they put it Revit in the government to implement BIM. So as I said before, this is the one of the mentions from the research Waterhouse about the UK report. We have been monitoring BIM adoption in the UK for almost a decade, and during this period, the overall trends of BIM awareness and adoption have grown from little more than 10% in 2011 to around 70% in 2019. So 70% of implementation of BIM.
Yeah.
I think it's a good example to follow.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
And Dashnor, you have your Instagram channel as well, right? If you can just show it to the people, participants here, like your works or your students' work.
Yeah. For example, I can open here some of my students' work. Okay. So I have this. Did I share it? Just a second. Share it here. Okay. I will share some of my work. This is my page on Instagram, and we have a lot of the works that people or students are doing it. For example, this is one of my students that did this model. Like this, maybe, for example, again, the same student because it's the same object, like 6 images. Okay, this is another beautiful house designed from another student. Also, we offer, for example, visualizations for different companies. So this is again one method how you can get work from different people or different countries. So for example, we have this page, and we present a lot of the works here, and a lot of people contact us. For example, we want to make this model in Revit, or we want to make this model render, or whatever else, or we want to make a drafting work. We offer every day. A lot of people wrote us, and they are asking about the 3D model, BIM model, and whatever else.
Okay.
Right. And you use that, like I think it was a 3ds Max render, right? The above image that you have in your page.
Yeah. Also, here is one another image with 3ds Max. It's a bathroom, and that's its students' work also. They are trying to render in, for example, in 5 or 6 weeks, they can produce something like this. Okay. Or something like this, maybe. It's a different student. This is different student.
Right.
This is also Revit. Also, we have a lot of details how we can work, for example, in interior design, how we can get this detail, or
Exactly.
yeah. So as a company or as a teacher, I offered, for example, courses for AutoCAD, 3ds Max, Revit, and Dynamo also.
That's nice. So if someone would like to do their masters in BIM, like what do you suggest for them, for those people? Like masters in BIM for a 1 year or a 2 years? Like how do you suggest them?
Okay, for example, that our country, we don't have any school for a master BIM or something like that. But in different countries, for example, in Italy, in Germany, you can get a lot of BIM schools for master and also PhD studies. They offer because they have a lot of good schools there.
Exactly. And for doing the research work also?
Sorry?
And for doing the research work?
Research, yeah, also.
Yeah.
For example, at this school that I'm doing now in Croatia, I'm doing research studies for BIM and also the BIM implementation in smart cities.
Okay. So you are in Kosovo, but you are pursuing your PhD in Croatia.
Yeah. I'm in Kosovo, in Pristina, Faculty of Architecture. I'm a teaching assistant there, and I have 5 subjects. For example, BIM is the main subject for me.
Right.
BIM Autodesk Revit, and once in a month, 4 day in a month, I go to Croatia and doing my PhD studies, and I learn a lot of new features for BIM, Autodesk Revit, and everything else.
That's great. That's great. And we have also heard, like, and we have got to know from news as well that Germany and the European countries have some tuition fee waiver kind of thing, or very less tuition fee for the international students if they want to get the education there. So is it same applicable in the BIM sector as well? So if they want to take up education in the BIM domain or in the construction management domain?
Yeah, I think to get a good implementation of BIM, it has to start from the school. If, for example, the BIM is in every school of the world, it's easy then to work with BIM and to implement in all future projects. So I think, as a conclusion, everything starts from school and from the government. If a government, for example, like UK did, they decided to put the Autodesk Revit in the government level, and everyone has to work with Autodesk Revit and present their projects in Autodesk Revit in government level.
Exactly, it's awesome. And for
example, I'm working in another project. It's in Netherlands. They are doing all the Netherlands in BIM, Autodesk Revit. So if you do one city or one country in Autodesk Revit BIM, it's easy to get informations about all the projects or future planification of the city or whatever else.
Right. So suppose there's one of a student, like example, I'm a student in India, right? And I want to do the education of like BIM education in the European countries. So what do you suggest me, like which country or which college would be like I should focus on if I have to go there and like do my masters or take my education in the BIM domain?
Okay, I think you have good schools at Germany, but I think if you find good courses for BIM, it's better because with the work, doing work, you can get very nice in BIM, because only just working you can be professional in one software. If you do one school and don't implement it, it's hard to be professional on that side. You can give maybe just lectures or anything else, but it's hard to implement them.
Yeah, exactly. Not many people like give lectures, but it's hard to implement it on site, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there's one more question I have. Like, what is the scenario of the projects or the scenario of the BIM development in the European countries? So do they have any plans for 2020 or 2025 or something for the BIM implementation?
Yes. For example, when every software has its philosophy, but for example, if you do one work in Revit, and you have to do some energy analysis or everything else, I think you can You can put any plugin like Vasari is for Revit, and you can find what is going on with your model, or does it good or it's not. I don't know about it. And if not, you can try to find your warnings in Navisworks. For example, if you did one model and put it in Navisworks, it can find your warnings. For example, architecture part with map part. For example, electrical phase or mechanical phase, and Navisworks can find all the warnings.
Right. Understood. Absolutely. So we'll ask once again with the other participants as well. Like if any one of you have any questions from Dashnor, you can directly ask him.
Yeah. You are free to ask me for everything.
Yeah, Shreya, would you want me to unmute you? Yeah, you are unmuted and you can ask the question to Dashnor directly. Yes, Shreya.
Hello. I don't hear her.
Okay, not an issue. I'll just repeat her question. Can you talk more about employment opportunities through BIM in India? Companies are market leaders in India, just like Dashnor shared on a global scale. Also, can you talk about BIM education in India? Thank you. Okay, it's okay that there were some audio issues. So I think that this question is for me about the BIM education.
Yeah, I think it's a question for you. Yes.
Yeah. So she wants to ask the employment opportunities through BIM in India. So Shreya, if you would have seen our previous sessions, we have discussed these questions in our industry BIM Connect session as well. You can go through it. But and in few iWorkstation BIM series sessions as well. So first of all, I'd like to tell you that India has a lot of opportunities for education, a lot of opportunities for working on the projects. But I would say very frankly, in terms of BIM implementation in India, there's hardly few companies or hardly few individuals working towards BIM implementation in India. But you're gonna see this upscaling in the near future. In the near future, I would say hardly 2 to 3 years. In hardly 2 to 3 years, you'll be hearing from not many top companies like L&T or the Shapoorji or the different companies implementing BIM on the Indian projects, right? You will be having a good case studies of their projects as well, because these companies have started focusing more on the implementation side rather than just doing the modeling stuff, like to converting a 2D drawing into a BIM model. That is not actually what BIM is, right? Am I correct, Dashnor?
Yeah, you are so correct.
Yeah. So that's what I believe. The BIM implementation should have the basic three things, like it should save your time, it should save your cost, and it should be efficient enough to deliver the project, and it should be sustainable, right? So I believe if these three things are not being satisfied, then it doesn't make sense to implement BIM. So you have to be like BIM should come from the client perspective, and it should be from the consultant side as well. The architect, the structural engineers, the MEP designer, all these people have to implement BIM on their own workflow rather than just working on CAD drawings. They have to implement BIM. They have to understand BIM. They have to take the proper education towards how BIM should be. Am I audible, Dashnor?
Sorry.
Hello, am I audible, Dashnor?
Yeah, I'm hearing right now you, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I believe is, and we're gonna have more sessions about what BIM implementation, what are the opportunities, and what are the different companies. So if you want to look at the different companies in India, you can just go to the BIM Hub. There you will find a list of all the BIM companies in India. But I would say like most of the BIM companies in India are focusing more on the services side. They are doing the BIM services, but very few of them are working on BIM implementation, right? So I think that answers to your question, Shreya.
Nice. So for example, if I go to the BIM Hub website, I can find a lot of services for the BIM. Huh?
Right.
Okay, that's great. So that's something that that I'm trying to do here to my country.
Okay.
Trying to I already did the project, and I'm trying to find some fundings from Europe and to do a big hub in Kosovo.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Nice.
Okay then. So that's how you like to tell something to the people about how this initiative is that we have taken up, like iWorkstation BIM series, inviting different BIM experts from different countries and speaking on a topic and connecting all the people together and sharing the best practices from around the world. Like what your opinion about it?
I think lectures like you organized today, it's a very good opportunity for students, architects, or people around the world to be introduced with new opportunities, for example, from BIM, Revit, and what to know exactly what is going on around the world, which softwares are used more, which is which is more affordable for building information modeling or whatever else.
Right.
So like I like a lot lectures you organize, because the next lecture I will join the meeting for sure, because I can learn a lot from the people around the world, because the new contacts are the best way to introduce yourself and to get any job or to learn how to get any job or whatever else.
Absolutely. That's great to hear from you, Dashnor, today. And thanks a lot for waking up so early in the morning. Like it was 6:30 a.m. right? Your location.
No, it's okay.
Thank
I
you for
really
taking the
enjoyed
time.
this
Yeah.
kind of presentation, and I would like to be with you in the future again.
Indeed. Okay. Thank you, Dashnor, for coming for the event. Thanks a lot.
Looking forward. Thank you a lot.
Bye bye.
Bye.